and welcome to Mondays with Maury, me, Maury Elvington of Morph, Transform Your Reality, where I help you step out of sexual trauma and reclaim your power. If this is the first time you're watching me live, welcome to my world. I'm so excited that you're here. Would love for you to introduce yourself, tell me where you're from, and I would love to hear what you're dealing with. Today is Monday, and it's been an interesting weekend. And I actually wanted to share with you a story today because I just got off a call with a client, a very powerful healing session. And it kind of connected the dots for me with an experience I had, and I wanted to share with you and see where it can find you in your story and where you would like to expand your awareness. Okay? So, if you don't know me, I've been doing healing work with women mainly for over 17 years now, really clearing and releasing beliefs and trauma from the body and bringing awareness to the places that you are not aware of and the things that are keeping you stuck and keeping you blocked. Okay, and I'm going to tell you this story. So a few weeks ago, I want to say last weekend, not this weekend, the weekend, like a while ago, like a week ago. I can't find my words today because the energy is so strong. So bear with me for a second. My ADD brain is just going in a million miles in all different directions, okay? Okay, so we went to my daughter's gymnastics competition, and it was a great weekend. We went to a beach on the coast, on the Oregon coast, that we never really go to. We go there like really once, in a few years because it's really far from our house. And so we were there, and we went to see the scenic route. It was this beautiful beachy area with grass, and the kids were outside playing. And my son is 5, and he came to me out of nowhere, and he said, I was here before. And I know he's never been there before. And I was like, really? And he's like, yep. And there was a war. And I have a bunch of arrows stuck in me. And a bunch of cuts on my body. Okay? And he tells me this. And what I'm perceiving is that he probably in one of his lifetimes was there. Maybe experienced some kind of battle. And when he stepped into there, all that came back to him. Now, he has no judgments about any of it. But me being aware, I was like, okay, interesting. So I was able to clear all that for him and from his body. And to let him, and he was able to, just move on. He really didn't think about it too much. He really didn't put any much attention to it. And he just kept on playing. And I was like, that was a very interesting experience. A lot of times we go to different places and he'll tell me like, oh, I was here before, or he'll share an experience. And that's really cool. And I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that. If you have, I would love to hear in your comments. But I get that way too sometimes. If I'm in a place, suddenly memories come to me or awarenesses about certain things. But what was really powerful about this was he was aware that he still was carrying those wounds in his body. Okay, and he could tell me where they were, and he can show me where they were on his body. And I'm bringing this up because one of the sessions I just finished this morning, we also cleared scars and wounds from the uterus area. Okay, and my client, we cleared that in her body. And I knew that I would have to come here and talk about this today because so many of us carry wounds and scars that maybe we can't see them right now. Although sometimes we might be born in this lifetime with, the birthmarks or some kind of marks that we don't really know where they're from. A lot of times that kind of transcends if the wound or the injury was very predominant or very big or painful. That's why we have a lot of people that are born with, eye dysfunctions where they can't see so well, or people they can't hear so well, or people that are scared from swimming in the ocean or flying on an airplane, even though they've never maybe experienced anything like that. Okay, this is how your past experiences move on with you. They move on with you in the body, and they move on with you in your awareness. So your body here is the key. It's holding on to the information. And just because you haven't experiences in this lifetime doesn't mean you haven't experiences in your past lifetime. Okay? And I can share with you one of my own stories was when I was 17. We went to a backstory. I'll give you a backstory. So I'm originally from Israel. And so in Israel, when you reach 10th grade, I think it's 10th or 11th grade, you get to go, if you choose to go to Poland and experience and go see the Holocaust remembrance there. You go to see Auschwitz, and you go to see different gas chambers. You go to see all this stuff. Now, in my family history, we don't have anybody in our family that went through the Holocaust. Okay, a lot of my friends growing up, they did. Their grandparents were in the Holocaust, or family members. They had very strong connection, but I never did. But I had this weird feeling like I really wanted to go. I wanted to see the history. I wanted to experience. I wanted, it's one thing to see it in a movie. It's a different thing to see it in real life. And so I was able to go. It was a 10-day trip with my classmates. And the whole trip, I just felt kind of numb. When we were flying over, before we were about to land in Warsaw, Poland, I felt like the ground, the energy was so great to me. It was so great and so dark. And it was like, I didn't want anything to do with it. And the whole trip, I was just kind of disconnected. My friends, like we would going to these places and it was really sad and traumatic and heavy, but I had no emotion. It was like I could literally disconnect from myself and just be there. My body is there, but me, I wasn't really there. And so before one of the last days, we go to visit one of the gas chambers. It was like a working camp, a ghetto area, and this is where they took people. I wouldn't say they were really living. It was these horrible conditions. We were seeing all these little rooms of where they would sleep. It was just like these wooden planks. It was very inhumane, of course. And they showed us where before they took the Jews into the gas chambers, there was a room. And in this room, they would take all their clothes off. They would shave their head off. So they would go in, just naked and into the gas chambers. So here I am. And we walk into this room, and suddenly my body just freezes, won't move. I'm against the wall in this room. The guide and the teacher, they're talking and experiencing, and I'm just frozen. Tears are coming out of my eyes. I can't talk. I can't breathe. It was the most crazy experience. Everybody moved on, and I just stood there, frozen. And I want to say this was about, 5 minutes where I was just like frozen, couldn't move. Everything was held in this weird dynamic. And after that, I just moved on. I kind of woke up. I don't really know. It was just snapped out of it and moved on the tour. We went into the gas chambers, felt nothing. That was the first and last time I cried on that trip. I wasn't really crying. It was more just tears streaming down my face. It was very intense experience. But also I was okay, I was 17. I was a teenager. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Only later in life, I learned that one of my lifetimes, I died there. I actually got stumbled on because there were just so many people in that room that I fell on the floor and people stumped me and I died there. I was choking, couldn't breathe. When I was born into this world, the cord was choking me and I came out blue a month early. And so this is an example of how your past life can kind of tie in to your life now, to your experiences now, to the phobias that you might have, to unexplained fears that you have or anxiety that you have that you don't really know where it's coming from or how to connect it. Start asking these questions. What scars am I carrying? Where is this coming from? Is this from this lifetime or another? The more aware you can get as to what your blocks are, what your beliefs are, what are the places that are holding you back from being in your body, the more you can come back to your body, the more you can come back to your true power, the more you can be you. Because you don't have to be anything else but you in this lifetime. And this is the main goal of living in this human experience, is really being able to be aware of who you are and what your gifts are and what does you in your power look like. What does that feel like? We have this false idea that love is going to come from outside of us, that happiness is going to come from outside of us, that joy is going to come from outside of us, that health is going to come from outside of us, right? But you're the corporate. You're the only one that can make you feel love and happy and joy. But if you have all these beliefs and all these ideas that are keeping you stuck and disconnected from who you are, you can't tune into that. And that's what I do. I bring awareness with you to these places and we clear them energetically, because they're there energetically. You can't see them. You can't physically see them, but they're still there energetically. So I wanted to ask you today, what wounds and scars are you carrying in your body in this lifetime? Maybe from this lifetime, but maybe from past lives. And what can you start to do to bring more awareness and more light so you can be more at ease and more at peace in your body and in your life? So thank you for tuning in. I hope this was a contribution. I would love to hear from you what scars you're carrying. If you feel like there's things there that you want to resolve, that you want to shift, that you want to change, I would love to have a free consultation with you and see how I can help you. Because the more of us that can be aware, that can be connected to their power, the faster we change this reality and create the life we truly desire. I adore you. I hope this was an awesome conversation, and I will see you next week.